Mr. Earl Walton here, and our clip on the far side. He's still sightseeing. These guys started out 112 with you guys, like you are now, worked their way up. They've now been there and done that. It's really good advice for you, and I'm going to hang out afterwards. I'm going to ask some questions afterwards, and we'll hang around and talk to you some more after that. Who wants to go first?
I'm going to let him go first because...
Say the best for last?
No, I've been following my whole career, so I might as well let him start. I don't want to interrupt now.
All right, let's welcome Mr. Clark Clinton, if you would, please.
Thank you. The reason why he said that is because we've always been together for a long time. And even when Joe had us working with Bill Dixon and some of those Maryland State playoff games, Springbrook, Earl was the alternate. Everywhere we went, Earl was the alternate.
3 years.
Okay. And he was like, get your college schedule together so you can get out. So I could get on the floor. And then that happened, transition. Earl was on the floor with Bill, and I was gone. So we've always been together. But we wanted to talk about the progression into another level. If your level is going to be varsity basketball, whether your level is going to be junior college basketball, or it's Division II or Division I. And there is no exact science to this, but there are some things that you have to do. One is that you hear and you're working over it. That's one thing you have to do. You have to have a passion for the game. If you have no passion for it, you can't be that successful. Okay? But I will tell you this, I did not think that I wanted it this bad when I started. I remember I was in class with Scott Foster, and Pete Gill, a couple other guys, and they had a vision early. I didn't have a vision early. I just wanted to referee. I wanted to do some CYO games. It went from CYO games to the guys telling me, let's go to camp, let's get better, let's do something else. I said, no, I'm good. I like doing what I'm doing. And they kept coming back. Scott said, let's go to camp. Eventually I go to camp. And that's when I fell in love with the game at another level. I used to play ball just like Earl would play in college, and you had a passion, then it seemed like the passion falls off because you're not playing anymore. And then the passion uplifts itself when you find another passion, and that was officiating. And we both fell in love with the game of officiating. The other part of the game that you have to have is professionalism. People respect professionalism. I don't know what you do in your regular job, but you have to be professional in this game because you got to show up to the game. You have to be well-groomed, well-dressed, because you start working when you get out of the car and you go to the gym. Somebody's watching you. Remember, Joe always told me, he said, referee like I'm in the stands every night. To this day, I referee like he's in the stands every night. I don't take a night off, and coaches respect that. They can see me do the Florida State game, and then all of a sudden, I'm in a Northeast Conference game, and they know I didn't take the night off because I remember that you don't take a night off. You referee hard every game. So I like doing it that way because I don't know any other way. If you have variations in your game, then take them out. Be at one level all the time. Be as best as you can every time, and that's how you get better. Because you only know one way to do it, and that's the right way. Do it the right way every night. All those things, that's how you get successful. After you build on a good practice on doing the right thing, they say practice makes perfect. Everybody heard that before? Everybody's heard it? Something wrong with that. It's perfect practice makes perfect. You can be practicing the wrong thing and be damn good at it. Okay? Be damn good at doing something wrong. But if you learn the right thing, you learn the right fundamentals, then you'll be good at doing the right thing. It's practice makes perfect / perfect practice makes perfect. Okay? So as I move on up, I recognize that camps are the way to get better. Film is the way to get better. Watching yourself. Watch yourself in film, you can get better maybe 2 seasons by looking at yourself on film and being also critical to yourself on film. You don't look at what you do right, look at what you do wrong. You can't learn what you did right. You can just applaud yourself. You can't be in this game, just applaud yourself that you did something right. You got to be in this game looking at what you can do better. Whether it's handling a coach, whether it's positioning, whether the way you run, whether it's your posture on free throws, all that comes into play. You got to have a package.
Your mannerisms. A lot of times we look at, I look at myself on film, how I used to look at myself. I had this look that I was mad at the world. And someone brought it to my attention. I said, don't do that. Look at film. Yes, you're right. Frowning up because a coach questioned me or a player questioned me or whatever the case may be. So, sorry about that.
No, I mean, we're working together.
Okay.
The play went down to your area. That's your responsibility. You want to have that. I love golf ball. Okay.
One thing that I want to piggyback off what Bernie was talking about is being prepared at all times. And I can remember, I just want to share the story that came to my mind. I was in like my 3rd or 4th year refereeing. And Joe may remember we used to have this BD tournament down in GW. Remember that? And I was about to go to my first camp, an ACC camp. Probably above my head, but I was about to go. And I'm refereeing just like we always have. The refereeing hire was a 30-point blowout. Dave Odom used to be the coach at Wake Forest. Came down and said, hey, where are you working? I'm like, just starting to get varsity games. He said, well, the guy, Fred Bearcat, who's the signer at the ACC, says if we ever see anybody with any, looks like they got any credentials or possibility of getting to that level, let him know. I said, well, I'm going to camp next week. He said, I'll make sure I'll tell Fred. Now I'm thinking I went through one ear and out the other. But I get to camp, and he comes right up to me. Fred, this is the guy. This is the guy I was telling you about. Now, did I get hired that year? Of course not. But the show goes to show you never know who's in the stands. You just never know.
Who's watching, and then when we're in camps, you get better, because it's all about getting better. Look on the roster of those guys who are good. You know what you do? You go to their floor, you watch them. Because if they're 3, 4 years better than you are, then watch them. This guy named Les Jones. I remember I was this Division II camp at CIAA, and he was the #1 guy in the camp. I did my game. I looked for his name. I think his number was like 25. I looked for 25. I'm going in that court to watch 25. And I sat there and I watched 25. And I did 2 things. I knew how far it was away from being 25. Okay? And I knew how good you had to be like 25. So then I knew how much harder I had to work to be like Les Jones. Because he was at another level. He was on his way to another camp, and he was just polishing up his game. And when he polished up my game, I was like, wow, that's a whole lot of polish. I got to get another can of polish. I ain't had the right kind of polish.
One thing what Bernie says is when you go to camps, get all of your money worth out of it. I mean, don't just do your games and leave like he said. If you see somebody you like and you like their style or what have you, go to their court, watch them. Go to other observers. Just if you have other observers you have not been on their court, go listen to them. Because if you pick up 1 or 2 things, maybe 5 things at a camp, it's a great camp. That's all. Seriously. Also want to talk about, because Bernie touched on it a little bit because it's a pet peeve of mine, so I don't want to go into it. We all have to get in better shape. And it's not just, everybody can't be a Adonis. That's not the issue. But we can all have a clean shirt, pressed in heel pants, shine shoes, a shave, a haircut. Because it's hard to make those black and white stripes look good, right? So if you take the time to do that, it separates you. I go to games all the time. I still have a lot of friends in this board and another board. When I go to games, if I'm in town on Friday, and I see guys, pants sagging down, pants haven't been hemmed, they're not shaved. Not everybody, and there's few and far between. But hey, show your professionalism. It's just like a cop. If you see a cop that looks like his next breath he's going to keel over, or the guy who's taking care of himself and taking his job serious. And that's what it seems like when you're out with you, shave, clean, him, haircut. People are going to say, oh, this guy takes it serious. He's just not out here for a check. Another important thing about some of the things we're talking about, stuff that we do every year. The other thing is get in the rule book. We have to get in the rule book. And I was guilty for the first 3 or 4 years of my refereeing career. I kind of slid along with the rules. You got to get in the rules. Trust me, I was there with you guys. I know we all get the answers for the test, right? Come on, right? You guys don't get the answers for the test anymore? Oh, you liars. I know Joe is in the room with us. Oh, it's done online. Well, if I were you, I would get with a group of guys and go through every question on the exam. Because at one time when you save the game because you know the rules, you're going to appreciate that time you spend in the room. Correctable errors, technical fouls, that sort of thing, where you put the ball in play, who shoots on an injured player, all those type of things you should know. And if you're out there with a veteran guy, and you save the game if you're a younger guy because you know the rule, oh man, he's probably going to kiss you in the mouth, seriously, to save the game. So I just want to share those 2 points.
We talked about, Earl just mentioned about getting together with people. You got to have a good circle of either mentors, peers, or just your buddies that are moving along with you and they got the same goals, okay? Because if you don't, then you're going to be splintered all over the place. So have a good nucleus of people around you. And that's real important. And then everybody in your group is not going to make it. Okay? That's just a fact. They're not going to make it. So be happy for each and one of the guys from your group who made it. Encourage them. Be happy for them. They made it. They got to the championship game at the Maryland State. Congratulations. Way to go. Hey, I'm going to try to get a ticket. I'm going to try to be there. Or you're working one-up game. I'll try to be there. Be happy for your colleagues. Be happy, especially happy for the people that you're working with. Because we talk about successful and moving up. Good things happen to good people. Okay? Be good people, and good things will happen. Continue to do good things, and things will happen. I try to surround myself with good people. And I am sure and comfortable every time folks come to my house or we got a rule session, we're doing something, I am comfortable with everybody around me. And I will do anything for them and they will do for me. And if I do something wrong, they will let me know. And that is your friend. Okay? So have good people around you, even in the game. Calling the game. I said, hey, you missed that one. And I want to hear that, even in the game, I want to hear that. Okay? While I'm passing, going to the table, oh, that was
More like this. Smell it?
Or he rubbed his nose like, that one stunk. But the thing is, he has to be honest with me, and I will certainly be honest with him. Okay? And that's the circle you're with. No, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you who started me in basketball, and that was Willie Jones. Okay? I met Willie Jones at the Library of Congress some years ago. I saw this guy going in the elevator with an eyebrow shirt on, going to, I think it was early, he was doing the JV on his way there. And I said, man, you look familiar. He said, I'm going to a game. I said, oh, okay. High school game? Yeah, I'm doing high school game. I'm like, I'm never do that. I was doing a little semi-pro basketball, so I was good with that. And then the next year, I see, next season I should say, I see LA. He's still doing his thing. Now I'm thinking, maybe I should do something like that. So he brings me in his office on lunchtime. We're sitting in his office at the time, I don't know how big the book is now, but it used to be like a phone book. And not that big, it's still the same size. Yeah. Okay. And we were in there my whole lunch hour going through the rule books. And he's like, you gotta know the rules first before you do anything. So he had me going through all the rules, and eventually I passed the test, and things work out for me. Very fortunate, things worked out. But everybody that has, we're talking about your group, everybody won't make it. There's a lot of ways to get there. Okay?
And everybody has their own path. I mean, everyone's path to get to whatever level that they're going to get to is going to be different than someone else's. So you can't look at them and say, hey, I did the exact same thing they did and I should make it. You know, like you said, you should just be happy for that guy or girl who makes it. And there's a lot of reasons that people don't make it. It's not just because you can't referee. It could be opportunities, your life, your home life won't allow you to do the traveling at the level that we do it. So it's a lot of reasons. So don't get caught up in not making it. Just try to be the best referee that you can. Because really the only difference between us and there's really no difference. We're all trying to get plays right. So that's what we do on a yearly basis. Evaluate, look at tape, and try to get better. Okay. Now we talked about being a good partner. And that's also a pet peeve of mine. Guys, you really should throw out the pettiness if you don't get along with someone or you don't like this person or whatever. And I know that goes on. That goes at every level. You're going to see that type of thing. But once you get to that game, take the pettiness out of it. You know, so those 32 minutes or 40 minutes for us, I'm telling you, that's the only friend that you have, whether you like him or not. I'm sure you guys have other jobs and family members, and you don't like them all, correct? Don't expect to like every referee that you work with. Just make sure when you go across that line, you're a professional, as we talked about, and you guys should try to work together and get through those 32 minutes.
Professionalism is the key to get you through. And if you're good about being good with people, then you can get past any issues you have with the official. Now, in our game, it's also a little different because they pay us too much money anyway. And I'm like you anyway. I don't care what it is. We're going to be okay. Okay? We all get paid. Okay? But it's different at the high school level because you got to see each other a lot. You got your meetings and things like that. But again, it goes back to just being good people to each other. All right. Again, just talking about this progression, and then your groups. You got your groups of people that you're with and you want to be with. And then after that, we talk about everybody won't make it, but there's a lot of different roads to go, and you'll make it where you need to make it. Some people may just stay at JUCO. Some people go to Division II. Some people go to mid-major. Some people go to Division I. Some people go to NBA. In our group, everybody did all that. Okay. And to this day, even I see some of the guys that I came up with, I missed them. I had not seen them in so long. I'm glad I came here because those guys still encourage me. And I had not seen them in some time. So, talk about the nucleus, I tell you, the best friends you're going to get is probably in the struggle of the game. Okay? You understand what I mean by that? Because it's just that striped shirt. That's all we have. Only three of us.
Joe asked me to talk to you guys about, we talked briefly about communicating, but one of the toughest things is communicating with coaches. Everyone have a problem with that? I know I do. And some of the things, Bernie might handle a coach differently than I would. And you might handle a coach differently than I would. But the one thing you got to understand is each coach is an individual, so you got to handle it differently. Some guys are no nonsense, so you gotta be no nonsense. Some guys you may be able to, walk them off the plane. Then some guys don't even understand strength. And what that means is the only thing they understand is this. It's just a regular, another call. Sometimes they want that. It takes the air out of them once they get that. Now they get back to coaching. They have no choice. But a lot of times some guys try to handle everybody the same way, either forcefully or happy-go-lucky, trying to joke with the coaches all the time. That's not always the proper thing to do. It's also not the proper thing is to handle them like they're a child. But the thing is that I always did, and it may help you, is that first of all, I handle each coach differently. But I drew a line in the sand. If you ever cross that line, I had to handle it accordingly. So I don't know if you want to add to that, but I just wanted to bring that up because that's one of the questions that I get a lot. How do you handle coaches? I'll tell you, a coach said one time, and I won't use the word that he used, but he said when he sees a new referee or a young referee, he goes right after him. Just to see, how he's going to be able to take it. I'll give you a prime example. And I was a young guy coming up the ranks and working different leagues, and I must have had him 6 times, and even in crossover games, and wasn't assigned for his league, but he'd be playing a team that was not in his league. I would have a game, and he was just, I tried everything, tried to be nice, teed him right away when I walked in the gym. Nothing I could do with the guy. So I just started teaming him all the time. So I talked to my brother, who was a coach, a junior college coach in Michigan. He had sent a couple players to me. So I said, I don't know. And he used to help me just like I used to help him dealing with referees. He helped me dealing with coaches. I said, I don't know what to do with this guy. I tried everything. I've tried every single thing. And one time I looked over and the guy was stumbling like this. He was just a hockey. He was like that with everybody but I. So the next game, I just go up to him and says, hey, my brother Mike told me to tell you. He never said anything to me. So you just never know, how you got to work with a guy to get him to see things your way. So,
piggybacking on that and your growth is dealing with coaches having relationships. Relationships also mean you get in battles with them, not one-on-one, but game battles. Okay, you got triple overtime games. He's got some history with you because he either won that game and it was a tough game, he was pleased, or he lost that game, it was a tough game, he was pleased. So he can trust you. Okay, but they got to trust you as you keep moving on. You got to build credibility. Okay, and there's a lot of ways to build credibility. Sometimes they're games, and sometimes they're relationships. When he was at Georgia Tech, and when he was here at George Mason, he was always, he was 6'9", his arms go up, and he just looks, just to look good on TV. So I don't want to tee him up all the time, so I don't want to have that relationship with him. And every time I come in there, I got to tee him up. So I found out through somebody else that he was from New York. Well, I'm from Big City of Dreams. Go ahead and tell him. So I went to him and I said, Coach, you from New York? He said, yeah. I said, me too. He said, really? You're not from North Carolina? I said, because Tobacco Road down there just doesn't work well. If you're south of North Carolina, all the coaches south of North Carolina, North Carolina, thank you from North Carolina. Okay? Trust me on that. It's a little goofy. So he thought I was from North Carolina. And I said, no, I'm from New York. After that, I go, Bernard, it's a great call. Hey, you guys, will you listen to him? Just like that. Change. So it's relationships, and they have this thing in their head of, I can believe him. He knows he's from my area. He's not going to hurt me. So the games you're in, when you get these games, you establish a relationship in the game, so you work as hard as you can to do a very, very good game and be fair to him Our job is not to make sure somebody wins. Our job is to make sure somebody loses. Okay? Somebody got to lose, and that's when we go home. If they both win, it's a tie. Okay? Okay, so we got to stay. All right? So somebody loses, we go home, and that's why we got to make sure we level the playing field. And coaches respect you, especially when they're on the road, that you level the playing field. A lot of coaches like when I say, see me on the road. They don't want to see me at home. Best compliment I can have. To see me on the road. And in fact, Professor Czar, he used to say to me, Bernard Clinton, I'm supposed to get those kind of calls at home. I said, I'll check with you. Because he didn't get the calls he wanted. His wife hated me too. She used to yell and scream my name. First and last name.
So we talked about being professionals, right? Being presentable when we come to the games, right? Clean uniform, shade, polished shoes. We talked about getting the ruble, right? Gotta get the ruble. Communication is key. Yep. And one other thing that I wanted to add is something I still do today, especially when I did it more when I was coming up. Talk to my signer every year, just to make sure you're where he thinks you should be. You might think you should be doing the state tournament. In his mind, you're a JV referee. So wherever you got to meet to try to find where you think you should be versus where you think you should be. And some of those things are what we're talking about. Coming to camps where he sees you getting better. In the room, getting plays right, the most important thing. Okay? Lastly for me, I'd like to share with you guys is that, because we talked about everyone is not going to make it to wherever you want to be, if you want to be Division I or whatever the case may be. Not everyone makes it to that level. But what I didn't do earlier is enjoy the ride. That's what you got to do. I sat in the back of the class, sat in the back of the meetings and all that kind of stuff. It took me 3 or 4 years before I said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this, if I make it or if I don't. So what that did for me was allow me to open up and be happy for my counterparts who did make it, and also appreciate it when I did get to a certain level. So think about that. Enjoy the ride, guys, because if you go your whole time, it's just say you referee 20 years. It's 25 for me this year. And all I did was worry about I didn't get that game, or I didn't get this game, or he made it and I didn't. You're going to be bitter. You're not going to enjoy it. So some of these guys are still here. Joe, Debbie, Bill Dixon. These people I knew when I was on this group. They're still my friends. So enjoy the ride.
Think about it, when you mentioned that, enjoying the ride. Basketball has taken me places that probably would never have gone on my own dime. Some places good, some places bad. Okay? Some places in Mississippi I will not go back to. Okay? Never thought I'd go to Maui, Cancun, and someplace. You're all over the place. And you're doing it, and it starts right here. Okay? And you're having fun with it, and you're getting paid, you're having fun, you can bring your family to some of these things, and they all started because the work you put in. If you work at it, you have a chance, okay? And if you don't work at it, you think somebody's going to give it to you, it ain't going to happen. You know why? Because why this camp is going on right now? There's a lot of camps. You look at that Philly rep. There's a lot of camps going on right now. So a lot of people are trying to do it too. Okay, you are not alone. They're trying to get it in. They're trying to reach the level they want, and they know the level to get there. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. You got to. We talked about talking to your supervisor. Where am I, Joe? And be ready for what Joe has to tell you.
That's right.
We said, well, Earl, I've been watching you. I think I'm going to give you some more girls' games. You know what? Say, okay, well, is there anything else I can do to get better? Okay, yeah, you know, we got another camp, and such time. I want you to come there, and I'll give you one-on-one. I'll look at you. Trust me, he'll do that for you. He'll watch you. He'll help you because you're asking for help. Okay? Upper Division I guy, they might say that to you, but for sure you better be ready for the answer. You know, say, hey, I didn't work the semifinals this year. I worked the last 5 years, and be ready for that answer. Okay, ready for it. If you ask, be ready. Okay, because it could hurt your feelings, but also get you ready to do what you have to do to get back where you need to go or move up to where you need to go. I know we talked about a lot of things, and in the hopes that they were all, and sometimes it's in sync to help you move yourself in your mind the way you want to go. Okay? I appreciate you inviting me, and Earl. And any questions for us, please, we're going to be here for any questions, and we'll be here a little later, but we're open for any questions.